A huge new karmic chapter begins as North Node enters Pisces and South Node enters Virgo. Get ready to release analysis paralysis, self-criticism, and perfectionism, and welcome trust, imagination, and spirituality. I am here to tell you more and to break it down for all 12 signs. My name is Anastasia. I'm a traditional Western astrologer specializing in natal, relationship, and predictive readings. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me. If you want to show your love, you can leave me a like, a comment, subscribe, and press the notification bell. Watch more of my content. Anything you do really helps my channel grow. Another lovely way of showing your appreciation is by buying me a tea or coffee to say thank you. If you're new to my channel, welcome to our warm environment. I have just hit 20,000 subscribers on here, so thank you so much, every single one of you. If I could give you a hug, I would, but all I can do is just sort of hug you like this. But thank you for being here. Before we dive in, if you have questions, you want a personal reading, you want to understand what's coming up for you, you have questions about your relationship, your karmic purpose, strengths, weaknesses, book a reading on my website. I offer natal, relationship, and predictive readings. Until the end of January, you can save $20 on the in-person year-ahead reading or $40 on the recorded year-ahead reading. Take advantage. It ends at the end of January. You can still figure out what's coming up for you. Additionally, on my website, you can find a variety of products I create. My 2025 planner is a perfect tool to have on your desk to help you know which transits are coming up, understand the lunations, set intentions during new moons, full moons, eclipses. It even has breakdowns of the best dates for relationships, dating, business, and more challenging dates that you want to be careful on. And I highly recommend my Jupiter in Taurus candle. This is the luckiest candle I have. North Node entering Pisces means North Node is entering into the land of Jupiter, traditional ruler of Pisces. And so Jupiter is in its detriment until June 9th, meaning that the planet of optimism is uncomfortable in the sign of Gemini that tends to question things and pick everything apart. So Jupiter in Taurus can be a lot more constructive influence. It is great for manifesting abundance, success, support of people in power, finding optimism and wisdom. And I recommend this for anyone born with their Jupiter in Gemini or Virgo, signs of detriment, or if your Jupiter is in Capricorn, sign of the fall. Pick one up for Jupiter in the dark house, 6th, 8th, or 12th, if your Jupiter is in opposition or square, or even conjunction to Saturn. Definitely check it out. And side note, but exalted Venus is this lovely green candle, and it's Venus in Pisces, and it could be beautiful for anyone seeking to manifest love, seeking to express your creativity or imagination. You can find it on my website as well. So in this video, we're talking about the major event. 2025 is ripe with important transits, and we don't have to wait really long for the first of them to welcome us, right? So in general, I have done many videos about this, but we're going to talk about the nodes a little bit, and then we'll talk about what it means to have them in Pisces and Virgo, as well as the dates that you can reference and look back at to see what kind of themes may have been present in your life the last time we had North Node in Pisces and South Node in Virgo. So the nodes are points of intersection of the lunar orbit with the solar orbit, what is known as the ecliptic, the perceived solar orbit around Earth, right? We know that the Earth actually orbits the sun, but from here on Earth, we think that everything revolves around us. So whenever these two intersect and we get a new moon and a full moon next to that intersection point, we get eclipses. And so they shift and they spend about 18 months in the two pairs of sign, in one pair of signs, always exactly opposite one another. North Node and South Node have different meanings. In Vedic astrology, North Node is known as Rahu, the head of the dragon, and south node is known as Ketu, the tail of the dragon. And so the story goes that this evil dragon was slayed, and his head and his tail were placed on the opposite sides of the ocean, different sort of sides of the planet, and so they kind of have to circle each other. And so the head of the dragon has this hungry quality to it, but it doesn't have a body, right? So no matter how much it eats, it can never be satisfied. And so North Node has this hungry quality. It wants more, more, more. It wants material things. And then the tail of the dragon doesn't have the head, so it's sort of aimless at times, and it's all about release, right? It has the abdomen, I guess, and the guts in it, the part that sheds and releases. And so the tail of the dragon, or the south node energy, Ketu, is a lot more about shedding, cleansing, purifying, and it's very much not materially driven. In the modern astrology, North Node oftentimes gets put on a pedestal, and it's described as this like karmic purpose and sort of your mission and your gifts. Well, in reality, you know, I believe that North and South Node are meant to work together. They're meant to create balance. So modern astrologers sometimes talk about South Node as your past life gifts and lessons, and North Node as your present life. I see this as, like I said, sort of a mix, because North Node, in terms of, you know, if you think of the lunar orbit, right, intersecting with the ecliptic, North Node is the higher point of intersection, sort of above the North Pole, right, or the north part of the intersection. So North Node has that climbing energy. You know, the moon is going up. There is that sense of like going towards something, aiming for something. So like North Node has this energy of like increase. It represents the rise of fortune, good or bad fortune, right? Because depending on which planet you have close to North Node, if it's like Saturn conjunct North Node or Mars conjunct North Node, the pessimism and the competitive edge can be driven really far to a point that they become destructive. For example, Lance Armstrong had North Node conjunct his Mars, and so he was very much have to have gains at all costs, right? So North Node is this increase. It does have the hungry energy. It does oftentimes represent things we hunger for, sometimes at our own detriment. And so South Node also has a positive and the negative, and South Node is the bottom point of the ecliptic. So if you think of like going towards the peak of the mountain, right? You like feel excited as you get to it. You feel you want to see more. You're like energetic. And then by the time you come down the mountain, you're a little bit like been there, done that. You're a little bit more quiet, relaxed. So South Node has that energy of like cleansing, closing, ending. And sometimes the shadow side of the South Node has to do with sort of having no interest in things. It can be a little bit detached, right? And so once again, you're trying to find balance between this like spiritual, detached South Node and hungry North Node. So we have the two entering Pisces. First of all, we're coming out of the North Node in Aries, South Node in Libra, the period that started in July 2023, ends in January 2025, with the very final eclipse in Aries in March 2025. But over the course of the last year and a half, we have addressed a lot of self-defeating tendencies in relationships. We may have examined where we're being too accommodating, people-pleasing, shallow, and we've discovered our personal goals and personal values. We may have invested a lot into our, you know, confidence and our body and our personality. And so once we are ready to wrap up this chapter of self-discovery and clarifying of relationships, we now start a new chapter on January 11th that lasts until July 26, 2025, as the nodes shift into Pisces and Virgo. And so we begin cleansing in the sector of Virgo, and we begin gaining in the sector of Pisces. So eclipses are gonna, it's interesting because this period lasts until July 26, 2026. I think I may have said 2025. So it lasts for 18 months, a year and a half, right? From January 11th, 2025 until July 26, 2026. But the final eclipse in Virgo actually happens in February 2027. So it's almost a 2-year-long period in which we are examining Virgo and Pisces sectors of our chart. And it's so interesting because we've finished the Aries and Libra, and I'm curious if you've noticed over the course of the last year and a half that you've tapped into yourself, connected with yourself so much more, what has changed in your relationships and in your identity and the way you define yourself, even in your body, because Aries is a very embodied physical sign. But we've only had solar eclipses in Aries, and Aries is the first zodiac sign that is all about starting things, right? And we've only had new beginnings in Aries. And with Pisces, we're only going to have lunar eclipses in Pisces. We've already had one on September 17th, 2024. So this is your first reference point. What have you noticed? What have you released? What have you become more conscious of? Or what kind of dreams became more prominent in your life at that time? We're going to have another lunar eclipse in Pisces on September 7th, 2025, and the final lunar eclipse in Pisces in August 2026. So there is a north node in Pisces, so it's about gains, but we only get lunar eclipses. So it's like gains through cleansing something. A very strong theme. So let's start with the south node in Virgo, right? We are releasing. Here we are becoming more aware of the anxiety we all have, right? On some level. It's crazy how sometimes the words we use can affect our mood. So I feel like anxiety is one of those words. You say it and the little creature in your head gets activated and it's like, where, what, how? So anyways, we are becoming more aware of the shadows of Virgo, right? Perfectionism, self-criticism, the analysis paralysis, anxiety and worry, right? And maybe focusing on the little details, micromanaging, controlling, being skeptical, being sort of too grounded. And so the South Node eclipses in Virgo, which we're getting quite a few, we get 4 of them. There's going to be a lunar eclipse in March 2025 and a solar eclipse in September 2025, and then 2 more in 2026 and 2027. We are encouraged to let go of that need to micromanage, of that self-criticism, of the tendency to not go for things because we doubt things, right? And we may actually notice a lot of changes in the workforce, maybe people quitting their jobs because they're starting to follow their dreams. They no longer want to be the ants working for the queen, and they're choosing to actually follow their bliss and become queens themselves. Is it bees? Bees have a queen. Do ants have a queen? Do ants have someone who is in charge? Please tell me. I should look it up, but I'm gonna ask you guys, and then somebody will respond and I'll be like, what? Because it would be 2 weeks later. Anyways, but yeah, tell me, do ants have a queen? But you get what I'm saying. There is a sense of letting something go in the Virgo sector of your chart. And then with Pisces, North Node entering Pisces, you are embracing trust. The big thing is embracing trust, trusting yourself, trusting the universe, trusting the spirits. You're allowing the support, allowing the divine guidance. You're surrendering bad habits on some level. You're embracing healthy ways of expressing your creativity, healthy escape methods, like when you escape to the seaside or you escape into imagination. You're maybe recovering from addiction with this energy and committing to your healing gifts, becoming a healer, becoming an artist. So, if we're talking about best ways to express your energy or connect with this energy, number 1 would be connecting with your creativity. Painting, drawing, dancing, writing, anything like that is beautiful right now. Music can be healing, right? Anyone with a strong Pisces placement, and if you're here, please confirm or deny, but people with strong Pisces placements, they're very attuned to music. Trust. And in order to trust and develop that sense of trust, we're gonna work towards developing faith, spirituality, community, right? Finding a religious or spiritual support network that can guide you. In Buddhism, there is a saying that, I'm paraphrasing, but there is a strong emphasis, and there's like a saying that you need Sangha, which is a community, in order to help you. You need people who keep you accountable, people who are like-minded. So with Pisces North Node, we're very much learning to support each other and build those and find those people that are similar, have similar values, right? And on our path towards that, you may want to tap into meditation. Meditation can be very healing, and it doesn't have to be one size fits all. You can meditate by walking, you can meditate by journaling, you can meditate by sitting and breathing, right? Spend time near water is my other invitation to you. Watching water, connecting with water, seeing how it flows, how it doesn't stay stagnant, how it doesn't need to control anything, how it's, you know, sometimes it's full of waves and it's like turbulent, and other times it's a lot more calm and soft, and just like life is, right? Water can be a great teacher. Relaxing, learning to let things go will be an important lesson, right? We only have lunar eclipses, only full moons in Pisces, only opportunities to let things go. You will learn time and time again that there is a lot more peace in setting things down, and it doesn't serve you to worry about them. As Virgos, someone with 3 planets in Virgo and 0 in Pisces, Virgos are so good at worrying. And I mean, like, it serves us good because we are quite like, we give good advice and we can see things coming from afar sometimes, but most times things that we worry about turn out for the better, right? So like learning to relax, learning to let things go, once again, sort of like escaping into a good book, a trip to water, a daydream, a nap. Pisces are so good at taking naps, my favorite thing that I love about Pisces. And of course, avoid jumping into addictive behaviors, right? Choose sort of healthy outlets. In the perfect state, you will use the Virgo discernment, skill set, humble devotion, and, you know, love for service, and connected with a deep sense of trust, love, and surrender, creating a capacity to sort of connect with others and help others and heal others through grounded yet sensitive touch. If you were born between April 20th, 1969, November 2nd, 1970, December 3rd, 1987, May 22nd, 1989, June 23rd, 2006, and December 18th, 2007, this is your nodal return, so these themes are extra important to you. And if you're not born in those times, look back at December 3rd, 87 until May 22nd, 89. Look back at June 23rd, 2006 into December 18th, 2007. What changed in your life? I've gone through a major shift at that period of time. I moved all the way from Russia to the United States, not a small feat, right? Like, I've dealt with letting go of my environment. I've let go of a university that I was in. It was a really important period in my life, very, very sort of crucial. And I have 3 planets in Virgo, so we'll see how it plays out. Do you remember what was happening for you? Please share down below. We're gonna go sign by sign. I'm gonna start with Pisces, because why not? And if you're looking for more guidance, if you want to know what 2025 has in store for you, it is a big year with lots of planetary shifts and changes. book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com and ask me any questions you have. So let's start with Pisces rising, because North Node is entering Pisces and South Node is entering Virgo, activating your 7th and 1st houses. Isn't it nice for me to go with you guys first? Okay, so if you are a Pisces rising, North Node is entering your 1st house and South Node is entering your 7th. First of all, South Node in the 7th will encourage major changes in your relationship sector. There may be an opportunity to shed something and release something. And if you are in a relationship that is not doing well and you're thinking of separating, then chances are you're going to part ways. There might also be opportunities to release self-defeating tendencies, critical tendencies, perfectionist tendencies in your relationships, and maybe welcome more compassion and understanding. There might be important changes in the life of your partner. Your partner might be going through an important shift. Maybe they're choosing to work less. Maybe they're taking on a job in a different state. Maybe they are going through some kind of health issue potentially, or just transforming, right? And then that affects your relationship. And once again, there is this need to be more compassionate and loving and understanding in relationships. With North Node in the 1st house, it's quite exciting because you are committing to yourself. You are, first of all, shedding your self-defeating tendencies. Saturn has been in your 1st house for a while, teaching you a lot of lessons, putting a lot of pressures on you. And so you are feeling ready to shine the brightest. What was happening in your life between 2006 and 2007? Have you noticed that was a crucial period for forming your identity? With North Node in the 1st, I can see changes around your health, as in you commit to your health, changes around your style, changes around your career. It could be a very powerful time when you take on a creative personality. You express yourself through art, through music, through drawing. You become a healer of some kind. You become more in control of your personality, right? You start shining brightly. You start expressing yourself in new ways, and you're working on trusting very much with this. Yeah, let me know if you remember what was happening in 06, 07. And if you're looking for more guidance, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com. I'd be happy to analyze your chart, talk about the future, talk about your year coming up, and more. And do pick up my Exalted Venus candle. This is Venus in your 1st house, the boost to your charm, attractiveness, and pleasure. If you are an Aries rising, South Node is entering your 6th house and North Node is entering your 12th. So this is the polarity between your physical health and your mental health. These are 2 houses, right? And South Node in the 6th is an important shift and release of hypochondria. You're maybe examining how your thoughts affect your mental health, how they affect your physical health. And so you're cleansing your everyday life. You're letting go of bad habits, patterns at work, even jobs that do not serve you. This is a very literal shift from being the worker bee into becoming a free bee that is maybe pursuing her bliss, right? Take a look back at 06, 07 when we had the same exact series of eclipses, and you can look even further at like December 87 into early 89 to be like, what was happening in your life? But I can see some of you letting go of a job as like an administrator maybe, and opening your Reiki business or your spiritual business. You're once again becoming more aware of how your mental health affects your physical health, how your physical health affects your mental health. And there are lots of opportunities for healing. There are lots of opportunities for shedding things and letting things go, letting go of a past issue, of a wound, of a difficult, toxic environment. And with North Node in the 12th, very much committing to your spirituality, committing to your desire for rest, your desire for peace. Some of you might move. Some of you might be like relocating somewhere, because North Node in the 12th will pull you into faraway places, faraway directions, which could be spiritual or they could be physical. Please share how this resonates. Do you remember 06, 07, or even further back if you're older, late 87 into 89, what was changing in your life, what was happening? If you're looking for more guidance, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com, and I highly recommend my Jupiter in Taurus candle for financial abundance, stability, and optimism, if you're craving more of that. If you are the lovely Taurus rising, South Node is entering your 5th house and North Node is entering your 11th house. So here we're looking at the axis of personal pleasure and social pleasure and social responsibility and community. And so with South Node in Virgo in your 5th house, you are experiencing endings, change, and possibly new beginnings, or like rethinking in the realm of romance. So there might be some romantic fine-tuning that is going on. If the relationship doesn't quite work, you may be letting it go. If you've noticed that you're being too controlling, too maybe anxious about your romantic life, too even uptight when it comes to your sexuality, you may be looking for opportunities to let that go. You're maybe experiencing, with North Node in Pisces in the 11th, you're maybe experiencing a sense of your personal pleasure being connected to the pleasure of community. You're feeling like you need to build new relationships. You need to find a purpose. You need to find a calling that is about more than just you yourself. You're maybe finding new groups that you want to belong with. They might be connected to, with South Node in the 5th, maybe it's connected to motherhood, parenthood. Maybe they're connected to helping the world at large, healing people. Maybe they're connected to teaching and guiding others with North Node in Pisces, a very spiritual place. One thing is for sure, you're very much working on like connecting with other people and exploring dreams that connect you to others as well. Reflect back on the last time we had North Node in Pisces, South Node in Virgo, which would have been 06, 07. And then if you're older before that, it would have been December 87 until about the middle of 89, to see what kind of changes happened in your love life, in your child's life, in your group relationships, your dreams, and things like that. If you're looking for more guidance, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com. I'd be happy to analyze your relationship, your natal chart, or talk about 2025 and what it has in store for you. And exalted Venus in Pisces is a perfect candle. It smells fresh like the ocean and cucumber water. And it highlights your 11th house of friendships, community, and dreams. So it can be a perfect accompaniment for this energy. For the lovely Gemini rising, South Node is going into your 4th and North Node is entering your 10th. What was happening in your home life, in your family life, in your career in 2006, 2007, and even further back from December 87 until the middle of 89? South Node in Virgo in the 4th suggests that you are letting go of a home. You're maybe moving. Something might be changing in the family dynamic. A friend of mine just recently had her mom pass away, and so there is a sense of shift, a major sort of shift in the family and family dynamics. So there might be some type of rethinking there. You're maybe letting go of a place you used to live, or I think I've said it already, but like moving to a different place. You're maybe shedding childhood wounds and sort of perfectionist when it comes to your home, because North Node in Pisces will encourage you to follow your dreams and build your career and bring more opportunities to shine. And so I think as you're realizing that a lot of your effort goes towards career, you maybe just physically don't have time to keep your house perfect, right? And so letting go of that need for your home to be perfect, or even you to be perfect, because as a Gemini rising with Virgo in the 4th house, you may have grown up in an environment with a mother or a father who was like very perfectionist, and so you may have learned that you need to be a certain way in order to be liked. And so with North Node in the 10th house, you are diving into your career, your dreams, and realizing that it's okay to let go and let loose sometimes. Make sure that you're not kind of swinging too much into one direction or the other, right? Don't just spend all of your time working. Try to have a good balance. And do reflect back on these periods I mentioned when the North Node was in Pisces before. If you're looking for more guidance, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com. I'd be happy to look at your year coming up, your relationship, or your natal chart. For the lovely intuitive Cancer rising, North Node is entering your 9th house, while South Node is shifting into your 3rd. With South Node in the 3rd, you will experience a sense of examination of your thoughts. With, your 3rd house being Virgo, you're maybe quite perfectionist in your communication. You're maybe quite controlling of your everyday life routines. You're maybe a little anxious in your everyday life or worried. And so with South Node being in here and South Node bringing this opportunity for letting things go, you can experience a sense of endings and change in your thought patterns, in your communication style. Maybe letting go of some control, right? Welcoming new opportunities. With North Node in your 9th house, you are shifting. A lot of your attention goes towards foreign lands, towards moving, teaching, learning, writing, publishing. On some level, you're very much encouraged to, of course, keep these two balanced as much as possible. Don't completely float away into the wilderness and, buy a ticket and to move to a place that you can't afford. Don't move to Turks and Caicos. It's hella expensive there. Very expensive. But there is this sense that sometimes you just should do it. And so over the course of the next year and a half, you may be committing, completing or committing to education. You're maybe moving far away. You're maybe getting involved with a foreign business partner or foreign company somehow. If you are an astrologer, a spiritual worker, someone in esoteric business, this could be about growing and learning and committing to that. I remember when I had this, it was definitely about expanding my astrology business. So shedding old patterns, maybe shedding, you may also experience an important shift in your relationship with your sibling, some kind of change, some kind of transformation there. Maybe a sibling is going to go through an important shift in their life, and you will allow yourself to take risks. Leo risings are finishing this right now with North Node in their 9th house. And I know a couple of people, one who started teaching, another one who started teaching and actually moved to another country. So powerful shifts are ahead. And if you remember what was happening for you last time we had this, which would have been 2006 into 2007, and even before that, December 87 into mid 89, do let me know in the comments below so other people can also see and we can compare and contrast. And if you're looking for more guidance, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com. You can save $20 on my year ahead consultations with a coupon code in the description, or $40 by picking up a recorded reading. And get my 2025 planner. It's a perfect tool for the year to come. The year that already started. I'm still in the past. If you are the lovely Leo rising, South Node is entering your 2nd house and North Node is coming into your 8th. So South Node brings cleansing, release, and change, and North Node brings gains. And here we're looking at your houses of personal finances, personal values, and shared finances, shared values, as well as debts, loans, taxes, mortgage, inheritance. And so for a while, Saturn has been in your 8th house, encouraging you to set boundaries when it comes to sharing, when it comes to money, encouraging you to pay off debts, separate yourself from unhealthy connections, or enter into more long-term partnerships. And so these themes continue as North Node enters your 8th house. On a large scale, you're definitely learning how to trust. You're learning how to share, right? Your South Node is in Virgo. You can be someone who keeps very close track of their finances, someone who budgets, someone who is analytical, perfectionist, very much know where every cent goes. And so with South Node here, there might be an important shift in your personal finances. You may decide to quit a job. You may decide to buy a home and make a big investment where your personal finances sort of disappear temporarily. Of course, you're acquiring something, but maybe it puts you in debt, right? If you buy a property. If you quit your job, or you decide to maybe work less hours, this also creates a sense that you're now relying on your partner, or maybe you need to rethink your relationships. What if you start a relationship with someone who makes a lot more than you? So all of these questions around money and debts and like learning to trust people in relationships, not just financially, but also emotionally, right? Because sometimes if we don't trust someone, like if you're married and you don't trust your partner to take care of you, there might be an inner, deeper issue that you don't trust them in general. You don't trust them to kind of, be there for you when you need them. So important transformations around all of these questions are coming up. And do you remember what was happening in your life in 2006, 2007, and before that, from December 87 into mid 89? Because that would have been the similar cycle. Do reflect on that. And if you're looking for more guidance, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com. Until the end of the month, you can save on my year ahead readings. Information is in the description. And pick up my Jupiter in Taurus candle. Falls in your house of career. A perfect accompaniment can bring success, abundance, and optimism into your life. If you are a Virgo rising, South Node is entering your 1st house of identity, physical body, your image and your personality, and North Node enters your 7th house of relationships and partnerships. And so this is a repeat of the cycle from 2006, 2007, and then from very late 87 into 89. So if you remember what was happening in your life, if you were alive and adult around that time, do let me know and reflect on that. But this is a major chapter of personal death and rebirth, of personal shedding with South Node in the 1st, and relationship growth and gains with North Node in the 7th. So you may be letting go of your need for perfection. With North Node in the 7th, chances are in the next year and a half, you're gonna experience important shifts in your relationships, shifts in the life of your partner. You're maybe getting married, getting engaged, you're maybe moving in with them, or a partner is relocating. There might be some kind of important development, right? Like major developments in relationships. And if you reflect back on 06, 07, you might remember what was happening in your love life and your partnerships and in your personal life around then. But through those developments, the South Node in the 1st house will encourage you to let go of control a little bit. Let go of the need for things to be perfect. Let's say you've lived alone your entire life and you've controlled where things go and you've cleaned your house to perfection, and now you're moving in with your partner and they do not care about those things, and so you're having to examine how important it is for you. You may be also letting go of some need for control as you join a business partnership. You may be experiencing, sometimes this could bring some health issues if you haven't been taking care of your health, or something like some type of maintenance that you need to do. As someone who just finished this transit, for me it brought, and for many actually Libra risings, it brought a stronger spiritual focus. I went to Nepal, as you know, and got my yoga teacher training. So for you guys, this could also be a chance to tap into something more spiritual. It will be likely health related, right? Because that's your first house, and Virgo is very much about health and healing. So letting go of who you were, letting go of old patterns, some anxieties, healing yourself, and working on relationships are major themes here. If you're looking for more guidance, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com. I'd be happy to talk about your year coming up, your relationship, or your natal chart. And get my Exalted Venus candle. This is your relationship house. Venus in Pisces can help smooth out any tensions, disagreements, or misunderstandings in relationships. For the lovely Libra rising, South Node is entering your 12th house and North Node is coming into your 6th. So look back at 2006, 2007, and late 87 into early 89, what was happening in your life, what kind of changes were happening between your houses of spirituality, mental health, and your houses of physical health. South Node in the 12th will encourage you to look closely at your self-defeating tendencies, to become honest about your control issues or your tendency to overthink, your tendency to worry about certain things or be critical of yourself, and it will encourage you to let that go. It will also likely make you aware how those tendencies affect your physical health, right? Your 6th house is Pisces. It means that your health can be quite affected by your moods, your emotions, maybe your relationships as a Libra rising. So having to work on these mental health concerns affecting your physical health is highlighted here. You may move. I've shared that I moved when this was happening last time in 2006, 2007, and I'm a Libra rising. So moving might affect your everyday life, and so having to deal with some type of lack of control in your everyday life. You may experience the need to close a chapter when it comes to your work with North Node in the 6th. It's interesting because it's almost like telling you that in order to have better physical health and mental health, you sometimes need to do less. You sometimes need to release things. You sometimes need to relax, which could be really hard for you, but very important. So changes around health, letting go of self-defeating patterns, committing to new projects at work, committing to work that is healing, work that is maybe involves, teaching fitness or involves some type of fighting for people who are vulnerable. All of that I can definitely see here. But do reflect on the past and let me know if you remember what was happening last time the nodes were in the same signs. If you're looking for more guidance, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com and pick up my Jupiter and Taurus candle, perfect for creating financial abundance and stability in your life. For the beautiful Scorpio rising, South Node is entering your 11th and North Node is entering your 5th. And so here you're looking at the house of community with South Node in the 11th at the house and in the house of pleasure, sex, joy, parenthood. And with South Node in the 11th, you are experiencing shifts in your social life. You are examining your friendships and maybe realizing which friends are supportive versus which friends are not. With Virgo being your 11th house, you may gravitate to people who are perfectionist and very analytical and very by the book. And so if you feel like those people are creating more stress in your life, or you feel some friendships are no longer serving you, you may either need to release those or rethink those. You may also be letting go of worrying too much what people think, right? With North Node in Pisces, over the next year and a half, there are likely to be serious gains in terms of getting pregnant, having a child, starting a new relationship, exploring your sexuality, following your bliss. 5th house is very different for different people. I've seen clients for whom fifth house was about becoming a hiking instructor. I've seen people in life for whom it was about getting their boobs done. So it's like separating your anxiety over thoughts of other people and connecting with your true self, connecting with your pleasure, becoming a parent, you know, doing things your own way and having fun in the process. Trusting that you got this, right? That you got this sort of passionate, joyful life, and that you can be a happy parent, that you can be a great mother, that you can be a lovely wife, and you can also have fun in the bedroom, right? Saturn has been in your fifth house for a while, maybe creating a bit of like heaviness and maybe, you know, creating a dry spell in your life for a bit. And now that North Node shifts here, the energy is shifting as well. Please share how this resonates. Do you remember the last time in 2006, 07? And if you're older, between late 87, early 89, how was your life affected by that? And if you're looking for more guidance, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com. Highly recommend my Jupiter and Taurus candle. It falls in your seventh house of relationships and could be perfect for creating harmony, abundance, optimism, and joy in your life. If you are the adventurous Sagittarius rising, South Node is entering your 10th house with North Node going into your 4th. So here you're looking at your career and at your public life. And South Node in the 10th will always be about shifts, letting things go, releasing. If you're not happy with your job, you may quit in the next year and a half. You may be also examining how important it is for you to be approved of, or how important it is for you to have control, right? You may be feeling like a boss is being too difficult, and so you choose to change your professional dynamic because of that. And like definitely, you know, reflecting on what people think of you and maybe caring less. North Node is coming into your 4th, which does suggest that there is a lot of focus on family and home in your living situation. Maybe you have recently become a parent, maybe you've moved, maybe a family member needs you, and so you may choose to change your professional life or your public life because of these transformations that are happening with your home, family, or in your living situation. Try to have a good balance. Try to not swing too much into one side or the other. Reflect back on the last time we had the nodes in the same signs in 2006, 2007, and before that, 87, 89, to remember what was changing in your professional and home and family life. And if you're looking for more guidance, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com. I'd be happy to look at your year coming up, your relationship, or your natal chart. And I also highly recommend my Exalted Venus candle. It falls in your 4th house of home and family and can help create peace, bliss, harmony, and improve your family relationships. For the lovely Capricorn rising, South Node is entering your 9th house, North Node is entering your 3rd. And you're shedding with the South Node in the 9th and you're gaining with North Node in your 3rd. So this is a very literal, like, stop thinking or stop gaining education and just listening to everyone and start doing, because 3rd house is the house of doing. So with South Node in the 9th, you're maybe closing an educational chapter, you're completing education, you're maybe relocating, you're maybe finishing a writing project. And with North Node in the 3rd, you're going into your house of skills and your house of practical knowledge and your house of like building things, right? And so let's say you've studied for a while and now you're ready to start your business. You're ready to become a life coach for someone. You are ready to write that manuscript or publish that manuscript. You are getting more involved with the community. You're becoming the person that others listen to instead of listening to others, right? You're maybe finding important causes for you, or you're becoming a person who initiates things in their neighborhood. North Node in the third can also bring important gains in the life of the sibling, or it can also suggest that you're working with a sibling. You're maybe starting some kind of partnership and joining forces with a sibling. Reflect back on the last time we had the same transit, which is 2006, 2007, and even before that in late 87 into early 89 to see what kind of changes were happening in your life around that time. Tell me in the comments below. And if you're looking for more guidance, book a reading at anastasiadoesastrology.com. You can currently save $20 on the year ahead readings or $40 on the recorded year ahead readings. And pick up my Jupiter in Taurus candle. It falls in your 5th house of romance, pleasure, and parenthood, and can be a powerful tool for creativity, inspiration, and love. Now, if you are an Aquarius rising, which we are wrapping up with for fun, because I started with Pisces rising. If you are an Aquarius rising, North Node is entering your 2nd house and South Node is entering your 8th house. South Node is about cleansing and letting go. And so with South Node in the 8th, you are maybe shedding debts, paying off debts, paying off a mortgage, clearing your student debt. You're maybe letting go of a toxic situation. Like, let's say you have a neighbor that you have been involved with and like fighting with them or something, or they've been playing loud music and you felt like you can't do anything about it. Maybe you decide to move, right? Partners' finances might be changing. With North Node entering your 2nd house, there is a lot of focus on your independence financially and personally. And so as South Node brings a shift to the partner's finances, and the shift in terms of how much money is available to you, this could be the time when you are leaving your parents' insurance and you have to go get your own. This could be the time when your partner loses their job and you become the main provider. Or your partner gets pregnant and you become the provider for that reason. So like having to step up, having to become more of a leader when it comes to finances is quite likely. North Node in the 2nd might bring a new development to your business, a new development to your career. It could also be a sign that you're maybe spending more as you're making more, which is quite to be expected. And yeah, like having to sort of trust in yourself, right? Like for a while, Saturn has been in your 2nd house. We talked a lot about that. But with Pisces, North Node entering your 2nd house, you're not only working on creating financial stability, but I think on a deeper level, you're learning to trust yourself and rely on yourself when the world maybe doesn't feel so stable or things don't feel always quite predictable, trusting that you got this and you can figure things out no matter what. Reflect back on 2006, 2007, the last time we had this transit, or even further back, late 87 into early 89, to see what was there anything similar happening in your life? And if you're looking for more guidance, book a reading at Anastasia Does Astrology. I am currently offering $20 off my year ahead consultations, or $40 if you pick up a recorded reading in the shop section of my website. Pick up my 2025 planner. And thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. How does it feel to be the last zodiac sign that I've looked at? I hope your year is off to a good start. I'm excited to be here with you, and I will bring you more content. Please show your support by leaving me a like, a comment, subscribing if you haven't yet, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.